There is one skill that separates women in healthy relationships from women who stay single and frustrated. It's the ability, ladies, to listen.
Low-key, I don't mind being single for the rest of my life. I didn't ask you if you did. But I know I'm a good woman, and if when it's...
I have to mute you because you women do a lot of babbling and a lot of just rambling. I didn't ask you any of that.
She's wild and talking about, I don't mind being single for the rest of my life. Girl, are you crazy?
A lot of people don't do the internal work to heal childhood traumas, so they project a lot of that, defensiveness when they do get into a relationship.
The effort not enough with him?
Why y'all always wondering what made the relationship end? It could be a million different things that make the relationship end. Just because I say something good about a person don't mean that's the only thing about the person.
I'm here to tell you it is still possible and it is still real. And it starts with us. Ladies, it is our responsibility to get back in place so God can use us in the most perfect and powerful way He designed us. Today, I want to share with you the very first step in that realignment. Maybe you had a mother who taught you when to speak and when to be silent. Maybe you had a father whose look alone told you when you had gone too far. Or maybe no one taught you any of that. Whatever your background has been, that's okay. Because my intention is to prepare you to become the most powerful, purposeful, beautiful version of the woman God already placed inside of you. Let's get into it. There is one skill that separates women in healthy relationships from women who stay single and frustrated. It's not looks. It's not money. It's the ability, ladies, to listen. Most women have never been taught this, and it is costing them everything. Good men are not leaving because of incompatibility only. They are leaving because of something happening in the very first minutes of every conversation. You cannot show up well in a relationship if you do not know who you are. If you do not know your own triggers, your own patterns, your own weaknesses, you will react instead of respond every single time. Watch what happens when a man holds a woman to a point. The moment he asks a direct question, she stops engaging and starts defending.
But let me ask you this question, because this is basically going to tell me everything I need to know. What do you think a man does to show that he's serious about you and wants to for you to be his woman? What do you think that looks like? And it's going to tell me everything I need to know about your mentality.
Okay, I would start off by saying, like, they asked me about my goals, basically, like, what he believes in. They're pretty open about what they do in themselves. It's like I said, I've been single for 5 to 6 years by choice.
No, you're not single.
So, like, now that I'm back, actually dating, I only date since then. So, like, it's just they're very open and they ask questions, very deep.
This is the thing. You're not single by choice. You're single by circumstance. You're not single by choice.
Why do you say by circumstance if I literally wasn't interested in being in a relationship for the last 6 years?
I'll prove it to you.
Even now, I'm still not interested in being in a relationship.
I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. 3 years ago, let's say you were at a bus stop, right? Let's just say you were at a bus stop and you only have 2 options. One of the options are you're going to get on this bus and this man is going to be the best man that you've ever seen in your life. He's the most attractive man. He treats you right. He's loving. He's caring. He does everything that you want. And you knew for a fact, not if he going to do it later. No, you knew for a fact that he would never cheat on you, lie to you, or abuse you. And he was going to be the best man that you've ever had. And y'all was going to grow old and die together. Would you get on that bus and go live that life? Or would you get on the bus where you're just going to continue to be single and still trying to be out here figuring it out? Which one would you choose?
That is a really good question.
Yeah, which one would you choose?
Because It's kind of too accurate because low key, I don't mind being single for the rest of my life.
I didn't ask you if you didn't.
But I know I'm a good woman, and if when it's
I have to mute you because you women do a lot of babbling and a lot of just rambling. I didn't ask you any of that. None of those things matter to the question I just asked you. Respectfully, I don't care. I'm gonna ask you the question again. You on a bus. You have two options on the bus, Callie, and one of these buses is going to be the best man that you've ever seen in your life and the best man you're ever going to deal with in your life. Y'all going to grow old and die together. He's never going to cheat on you, lie to you, or abuse you.
The fact that she
You gonna
hesitated
get on
really
this
was
bus.
bizarre.
I'm trying to get on this bus.
on that bus.
I'm getting on the bus, baby. I'm on the bus.
I'm getting on that bus. She's wilding. Talk
Yeah.
about. I don't mind being single for the rest of my life. Girl, are you crazy?
So, ladies, what do you even think made her? What possessed her to give that response or pause or anything?
Her ego of not wanting to, because I've heard a lot of people say I'm single by choice. If that's the case, then do you not desire to be with somebody then? Like, it's like, okay, you're choosing to avoid, but you want to not be single. So it's like it's a thing about my ego about like I'm choosing to be this versus like maybe admitting that you ain't ready for it for real on a real level. Like it ain't there for you yet for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I think her ego was the reason why she wanted to go around that question in that way.
Mm-hmm. I also think she might
Right,
have been a
because she
little
didn't want to face
insecure.
the fact that what he was saying was true and debunked her logic of wanting to be single by choice. So that's why she paused.
I don't know any women that have been single for 5, 6 years talking about single by choice. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've definitely seen women say that.
Yeah,
I
they
just
say
don't know
that
if
all
it's
the
cap or not,
time.
and
They
what would
always
make
say
them
that.
say some shit like that.
I said that before because I, was doing a lot of traveling, moving around, and I really wasn't actually trying to be in a relationship. But that doesn't negate if the right person would have came into my life, would I not have chosen to be in a relationship? So yeah, people
So,
just
would you
say
have gotten
it.
on the bus or no?
Oh yeah, I definitely would have. I
Right.
would have been the first one on the bus.
Sign me up. I might beat you to it. I'm on that
Right.
bus, buddy.
We be single when we say we're single by choice is because we're single because the right man hasn't came along yet.
I think the only way I would actually open and like be like, okay, I'll take what you're saying by choice. If you were celibate, not flirting, not talking and texting nobody, you were literally like that is not on your radar at all. Kind of an asexual moment. Then I believe you because you're not even making an effort. So I believe you. If you're not making any effort whatsoever, I'll slightly believe you.
But
But
that
most people
still could be
aren't.
debunked because if the ideal man still come along and swoop her off her feet, she won't be single anymore.
Fair.
So that's still
I
could be
think
debunked.
I don't know. I think the way that she was talking, it sounded like she was a little insecure, and I definitely did see the ego, but I think it was her ego because she knew she might not be worthy of that type of man to some sort of capacity, and so she was like, I guess introspective
Coping.
enough to understand that I'm not going to jump on that bus because
She
you
can't.
could give me the perfect scenario exactly, and I'm not going to be able to live up to it. And then, I mean, I think that's better than women who monopolize on men like that and then take advantage of them, and they're not able to meet him at that level.
Matt, you had a different
Yeah, some
perspective.
women just accept their fate.
I'm actually rewatching that clip right now. I'll get right back with you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times
there's
women.
also. Go ahead.
No, I think a lot of times, like all the other ladies saying, I hear women say it all the time, or they say, "Well, my career." A lot of women, it's their careers, or they got so many things going on that they don't have the time to be in these relationships. But yeah, I think women who say
Excuses.
that have experienced some kind of hurt and they're not trying to make the time. I think that's what it is. I don't think any woman openly says, I'm going to give all my time and effort to a career unless she has been hurt significantly, because that's just not realistic. Your career is not going to be
Yeah,
there to sleep with you at night. So,
and that's bogus because men have always had careers and some two, and still make time for relationships. So I don't understand. I don't think most people have to work much more than 8 hours a day. And if you do, then you're probably doing something wrong and probably should take that focus into a different career. So, I mean, I
Nurses do.
understand nurses. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
12-hour
got a lot to
shifts.
say. I
Well,
got a
we
lot to
know
say
about
about nurses,
nurses.
but we won't talk about
What you
nurses.
trying to
This is
say?
a family show, so we're gonna
What's
we're
wrong with
gonna
nurses? Now I gotta go
What
figure
Not a
out what's wrong
family
you
with the
trying to
nurse.
nurses.
say?
Google it.
Lady, you a nurse?
I am. I'm just not working in the field.
God bless you. Right.
Great.
I
I just don't
wouldn't
want
have
to work
said
for
that.
12 hours. That's why.
Okay, gotcha.
And neither does the husband.
So, did anybody have anything on what the Mom Dukes had to say on the first portion of it? Her message to women.
I mean,
She's 100%
I would say,
correct.
mhm.
How?
What she's saying is very valid. I think it just takes time for us to acknowledge that and receive it. Because a
What
lot of
part?
people can't receive certain things.
Like what?
For instance, if, I don't know, you're with a man and he says, I don't know, I'm going to pull something out of the top of my head. I don't like your hair pulled back into a ponytail. Some people might be like, pull my hair in a ponytail if I want to. But it's like you might not be ready to receive that and say, okay, well maybe I'll wear my hair down instead of putting it in a ponytail.
So
I
why
would
do you
say
think?
too that,
Go
oh,
ahead.
I'm so
No, go
sorry. I
ahead.
don't know if it's my
You're
connection
good. You're
or
good. Go
I'm sorry.
ahead.
I
Go
apologize.
ahead.
I would say
You go
too,
ahead.
a lot of people don't do the internal work to heal childhood traumas. So they project a lot of that, defensiveness when they do get into a relationship because of the fact that they can't even identify what it looks like when somebody of authority might be communicating to them at a normal capacity, but they're so used to getting defensive because of certain childhood traumas or whatever, they may have experienced prior to that relationship. So they project it into whoever they're dealing with at the moment.
So you make a great point. You make a great point. But if they're unaware of it, what are we to do, right? Because I say this a lot, but I don't think that men or women are going into relationships with nefarious intent. I don't think that people are. I mean, some of us, form a scumbag, but most of us don't behave like that, right? Where we're trying to be on what they consider demon time and all of this. We're not trying to hurt people on purpose, or trying to be selfish. But like Restoring the Village just stated, there's a situation where people just don't know. They haven't healed from childhood traumas. They don't know what a functional relationship looks like. They don't even know how to love. They don't know how to lead. They don't know how to express affection, and they're at a deficit before they even start. And some people are learning to love. And if both ends communication isn't damn near perfect, when people are coming in at such a deficit, how do you even come to a space where you can have a functional relationship if you are unaware of the issue and the other person may not be aware of how to
Well,
even
I would say
speak
at
on it?
that point, like that's why I, highly advocate for people to do that internal work on their own because you can't go into a relationship and treat it like a case study. I think that's also part of adulting is putting in that work in yourself, right? So like I wouldn't expect my partner to identify my deficiencies. I would, try to, practice some sort of, like inner, I guess, evaluation or something, or even go to like, I don't see there's anything wrong with therapy as a whole, right? Like when you have different relationships, because I don't think it's just whatever you're dealing with your partner. I think a lot of those flaws tend to kind of come out in all aspects of relationships, whether it be with your friends, your coworkers. It's just obviously your partner is the one who might get the root of it. So I think, it should be part of like the adulting process to speak to a professional, kind of identify where your triggers might be, what it is that might trigger you. And then when you're in a relationship, it's easy for you to kind of step away and say, okay, in a normal circumstance, I might not have reacted as strongly or as I would have in this situation because of this, and that, because you already know what the issue is at that point.
Yeah, this makes me
I
think a
think
lot
that
because
people know.
I just want to I'm almost done. I just want to get into this like on a micro level because I don't think that we truly have an understanding of this point that just came up that most of us are wildly unaware of how it is that we look. I'm sure we have all met people who just like, damn, can they see themselves? Damn, can they hear themselves? And culturally, it's just different. Like you'll go to different cultures and you're like, damn, why the fuck are they screaming like that? Some cultures just are louder, right? There are some cultures who pick their noses in public, and they don't say anything wrong with it. But our difference is we see it as weird, right? So these people who are coming out of these relationships that are, they might have been what did y'all say, AB for TikTok or whatever, in the home or whatever the case is, all types of dysfunction. That's all they've witnessed. And so that is the new norm. I've heard women say he don't love me unless he beat me, right? Which is crazy. But what I'm saying is that I'm sure you've heard it. I'm not the only one who. Don't make me a weirdo like the only one I heard that. But either way,
People feel like they have to go through pain and heartache to feel love. Yeah.
I think
I've heard,
people.
it
I
wasn't
think
told to
people
me per se,
know.
but y'all get the point. Go ahead.
I think people know. It's just you. So
Yeah.
we're in an age where people don't want to take accountability. They don't want to have to make the necessary changes. So actually sitting with themselves and seeing their flaws is a little too much for people. So it's not the fact that they don't know, it's just that they are not willing to make the changes, especially if they haven't come across someone that is they deem worthy enough for them to make that change. So bad behavior or dysfunction, all of those things are not excuses to be that way. Because you've been in an abusive relationship doesn't mean that now I can, become the aggressor because I don't want to be, abused or, whatever the case may be, because that's what I did when I first got out of mine. But the situation is at the end of the day, it's wrong. It's a bad behavior. It's not healthy. Are you willing to take the time out to change? And that's the problem. A lot of people just don't want to change. um my last relationship, the guy, I think I told y'all before, he wasn't used to treating women the way I'm used to being treated. So when he came across me, he didn't really never had to change for somebody else, but of course he's seen that I was worthy to him, I guess, to make those changes within himself, and he was willing to do that, and he tried, and he really did make efforts to change and mold and how he treated a woman and being more softer, and because I'm a soft person, so I had to, express that to him, like, your tone, your this, that, it shuts me down, blah, blah, blah. And he had to understand that, and he made efforts to change it. So I think people know, they just either haven't been with the person that, they want to change for, or they just don't want to take accountability.
So then was the effort not enough with him?
Why y'all always wondering what made the relationship end? It could be a million different things that make the relationship end. Just because I say something good about a person don't mean that's the only thing about the person.
Because we
Girl,
know
we
you
rooting
we
for
know
him.
you a bad girl.
We feel like you should be with him because of the way he was before you should be there, child.
Well,
We
I mean, I think also too, like
No,
sometimes
he was 11
that's
years younger than me, and I didn't realize the mentality is still the same. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, babe.
we
I
know
mean,
you a bad. We know you've been a bad girl, Paris. That's
but
what it
I think
is.
Driving the
sometimes
cradle,
like,
huh? Still got
yeah,
a groove back.
That's why. That's yeah.
yeah.
Them nurses, boy.